Namaste friends, welcome back to this program. Today we're going to get into doing activating the lower body. One of the key most important groups of muscles to activate are our hip flexors. And so that's really what this program is about, is to get the hip flexors strong, to get them activated. We'll get into the hip extensors a little bit, but it's important to note that there is this antagonist-agonist relationship between the two. So from a neuromuscular standpoint, as we get one group strong, the other group will simultaneously become stronger. So we don't really have to focus a lot on hip extensors. We will do a little bit, so don't you worry. But we're also going to kind of throw in a little bit of a test, a range of motion test. And this will be a really good way for you to see the power of what we're doing. And also, as you do this practice continuously, you'll be able to kind of gauge your the effects of this practice and your progression, okay? So we're gonna just start by doing a little bit of yogic breathing, and then we're gonna add some movement and get into the program. So come onto your back, turn the palms upwards, and just take a few deep yogic breaths. And so when we say yogic breaths, what we're really saying is diaphragmatic breaths, some intentional breaths, and some full breaths, as much as you can. Bring the hands down beside you, and then inhale. Bring the arms up to the sky, bring them over to the floor behind your head, and then exhale, bring the hands back down beside your waist. And we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale, full breath in, bring the arms up over the head. Now notice if you're breathing really fast, so slow the breath down. Exhale, bring the hands back down beside your waist. Do it 2 more times. Very good. Now what I'd like you to do is we're going to do a little vinyasa called, or with Supta Dandasana. So this is knees to chest pose, Apanasana. And then you're going to inhale, again, bring the arms over the head, straighten the legs as best as you can. If your legs are at 70 degrees, that's fine. And then exhale, bring the knees back into your chest, pull the pubic bone up to the navel. Inhale, push the feet up to the sky, bring the arms over the head. And exhale, bring the knees into the chest, bring the hands down beside your waist, and pull the pubic bone in. Inhale, bring the arms up above your head, push up through the heels of your feet. Exhale, bring the knees into the chest, bring the hands down beside you. Inhale, bring the hands up to the sky, bring the arms over the head, push the heels up to the sky, and then exhale, bring the knees into the chest and bring the arms down beside you. Inhale, bring the arms up to the sky, push the feet up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring the knees into the chest. Do that 1 more time. Very good. Lower the feet down. Next thing we're going to do is a little bit of a trunk flexion and hip flexion overall activation. This is just a really nice way to gently begin to wake up the muscles if they're asleep and start to turn them on. So bring the knees above the hips and bring the hands towards the knees. Now if your hands don't reach the knees, please don't lift up the chest. Just leave the chest down. Bring the hands up towards the knees and then press the knees into the hands. Now you want the heel of your hand just below the patella here. Or, well, technically it's above the patella, but the way the leg is, it's coming below. So that's where the insertion point is of the rectus femoris muscle. So bring the heel of the hands to that point, press the knees towards the hands, And hold it there for a moment and then exhale and come on down. If you feel like you want to straighten the legs, you can also do that as well. Brings everything back to neutral. Bend the knees, bring the hands up, bring the knees to the hands, and press the knees to hands. And we're holding it for about 6 seconds here. This is a really nice way to, again, wake up all the hip flexors. Bring the feet down, straighten the legs. Bend the knees, bring the knees back up to the hands. Press them in for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then relax down. And then do it again. Press the knees towards the hands for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on back down. And do it again. Bring the knees up. Press the knees into the hands. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. And do it again. Knees up to the hands. Press into the hands and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. And we'll do it one more time. Bring the knees up. Press the knees into the hands and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bring the feet back down. Straighten the legs. Have the legs just at neutral, so don't force the legs wide or narrow them. If you're not sure, just bend the knees, lift the hips up, and straighten the legs, and now you're in neutral. Bring your right hand to your right leg or your right thigh, and just lift that leg up about 30 degrees more or less. So it's not high. Keep in mind that this is 90, halfway is 45, so a little bit below 45 is 30. And you should feel that right quad starting to engage. Exhale, come on down. Relax it, and then lift it up again. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. And then do it again. And hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this time we're just going to do it 3 times this side. You're going to see why in a moment. We'll do it 3 times on this side. So lift up the left leg and hold for 2, 3, 4. Keep that right leg really relaxed as you're doing this. Exhale, come on down. Lift up the leg and feel it engage and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come on down. And then lift the leg up again and hold it for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and come on down. The reason why we did it 3 times each side is because now we're going to do 3 times both legs. So lift both legs up and really feel the quads engage here. Now, if this is too much for you, just come back down and do one leg at a time. Okay? So lift up both legs again. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come down. Relax it, and then do it again. I like doing it sometimes with both legs because it does activate the transverse abdominis, which stabilizes the trunk and spine. So you're also working simultaneously on those trunk stabilizers. Relax the leg back down. Bring the arms out to the sides now. We're going to do a little bit of a twist here. So bring the knees, hug the knees into the chest. Bring the knees about 30 degrees to the right. So this is about halfway, which is 45 degrees, so a little less than that. Okay? Keep pulling the knees in, and then inhale, come back up. Exhale, relax the feet. Inhale, bring the knees into the chest. Exhale, bring the knees over. Now you're doing a couple of things simultaneously. You're bringing the knees closer to the right armpit, aka you're bringing the knees closer to the chest, and you're also lifting up at the pubic bone. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, bring the feet down. Inhale deeply and exhale. We're going to just do this one more time. So bring the knees towards the chest, squeeze the knees in, and then come on over to the right. And just holding it there for about 6 seconds. Now we've just did it 3 times. If you feel like you want to do it a little bit more, that's great. You can do it 6 times on each side. We're just doing it 3 today because we're doing a lot of other things. So you always got to balance between, am I stressing out my system or am I actually doing things to help my system? Bring the knees into the chest, squeeze them in, and then come on over 30 degrees to the left. Now keep pulling the knees in. Hug or press down through the right shoulder blade. So feel that right shoulder blade coming into the ground. And then inhale, come back up. And exhale, bring the feet down. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. And then inhale, bring the knees into the chest. And then exhale, bring the knees over to the left. Now again, you're lifting the pubic bone up and you're bringing the knees closer to that left armpit. Come on back up. And exhale, bring the feet down. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Let's do it one more time. So bring the knees into the chest and then bring the knees over to the left. Again, pick up the pubic bone, squeeze the knees to that left armpit, simultaneously pressing down through the right shoulder blade. And then come on back up. And exhale and bring the feet down. Really nice. Okay, so roll over and then come on back up. And now we're going to come to downward facing dog and we'll do a few plank poses, okay? So come on to all fours here and then come into downward facing dog. And from here, inhale, come into plank pose. Now, squeeze the sides of the belly in, pull the navel up, bring the chest forward, press the heels back, exhale, downward dog. Some of you might be wondering, aren't we focusing more on lower body? This is upper body, or at least whole body. And that is true, but the thing is that we need to find a way to activate some of the key core muscles, like the transverse abdominis, as much as we can. So, and if the TVA is not working, sometimes we find that it will have an effect on lower body. So let's get the TVA working. Come into plank, let the hips dip, pull the belly in, press up a little bit between the shoulder blades, bring the chest forward, push the heels back, exhale, downward dog. Inhale, come to plank, let the hips dip a little, energize the thighs, navel to spine, press up in between the shoulder blades, push the chest forward, heels back. Exhale, downward dog. Oh, it's so nice. Inhale, come to plank. Squeeze the sides of the belly in. Let the hips dip a little bit. Push up in between the shoulder blades. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. Inhale, come to plank. Let the hips dip a little bit. Push up between the shoulder blades. Press the heels back. Beautiful, my friends. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. Very good. Inhale. Let's do it one more time. Let the hips dip a little bit. Energize the thighs up. Press the heels back. Press up between the shoulder blades. Good. Firm everything. Squeeze everything. Squeeze your glutes. Exhale, downward dog. Sort of walk the feet up to the hands a little bit or halfway. And then come on up. Really nice. Isn't that delicious? I don't know how you feel. I mean, we could just call it quits right now. You guys are doing great, and I hope that you're starting to feel your whole body coming alive. Just going to do a couple of functional movements here. We're going to spend a little bit of time here. So this is a little bit of balancing as well, and so this will start to work on strengthening your stabilizer muscles, or at the very least activating them. So bring your hands to your hips or your waist, and then inhale and slowly lift your right knee up. Now, we're talking about lower body, so we definitely want to improve our hip flexion. So this is starting to build hip flexion in a functional way, okay? You're also needing to balance. Now, if you are having issues with balance, put your other hand on a chair or on the wall, okay? Please don't stress your system out even more so. Your system is probably a mess because it's already been stressed out. So we don't want to apply more stress. So do use a wall or a chair if you find like you just need to. Lift it up again. Just hold it there for a moment and then slowly come back down. Now, I know that sometimes there's some movements, and don't do this, but there's some movements that fitness trainers do. This is not what you want to do. We want to do this kind of movement, but we also want to do it slowly, because then we start to get into the slow twitch muscle fibers, which are more anaerobic. And they have that ability to sustain stability in the joints. And this particular joint that we're really interested in right now is the hip joints. As we get into hip flexors and hip extensors, we're starting to really address some of the pain issues that some of you are experiencing in your hips. We'll do it one more time. And then slowly come on down. And then let's do the other side. So, again, stabilize here. Lift up that left knee. And then come on back down. And then come on up. Now notice if one side is less balanced than the other. I actually have issues with some of my supinators on my right side. And so sometimes there's less balance on the right side. So come on up. So that's something that I'm also addressing. But a lot of that stability comes from the core. And then come on down. And it also comes from the hip flexors working as well as the hip extensors. So come on up. And come on down. And come on up. And come on down. Good. Now we're going to balance again on the left side. And you're going to bring your lift your right foot up. Your knees are sort of balanced, but what I want you to do is do two things. You're bringing your foot towards your glute and then pressing the foot back and just hold it there for a moment. Now try not to lean forward as you're doing this. If you find yourself leaning forward or unbalanced, again, use a chair or use the wall in front of you and then slowly come on down. Good. Bring that foot behind you, bring the foot towards the glute and then push away. You might feel this also in your hamstrings. So you're really activating the glutes and the hamstrings, which are the hip extensors, and come on down. And then do the same thing again. Bring that foot, the heel towards the glute, and then push away. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Let's do it one more time on the right side. Yeah. And then bend the knee, bring the foot towards the glute, and push away. Sometimes I drive a lot. I drive actually about 6 hours between Blue Osa and San Jose, Costa Rica. And so sometimes I start to get pain in my hips, and there's a reason for that. But just from sitting a long period of time, sometimes I'll just stop the car and do these exact poses. And guess what? Get back in the car, pain gone. And sometimes the pain will be gone for a few hours. So depending on how low or how high the stress tolerance level is of my muscles and how their ability to stay in that supported state of supporting my joints, I can actually sometimes last quite a long time. So again, bend your left knee, bring that left foot towards your glute, and then just press it away. I like to sometimes bring my left hand and just feel that glute really engaging, and then slowly come on down. Do it again. Bend that left knee, pull the left foot or the left heel towards the glute, and then push away, and then you'll get into hip extension. Again, please don't lean forwards. Keep your body as erect as possible. Press it away, and then come on down. And bend that knee, and as much as you can, push away. You can feel that glute activating. Activate the glutes. I feel like we should have those rings of power. Activate our glutes. Okay, do it again. Bend the knee. Activate the glutes. Press the heel away. Keep pulling the heel as much as you can towards the glute. And then come on down. That is so great. Good job, you guys. Okay, now let's do our little test here. So what I'd like you to do is to come and bring your feet as close as you can to your groin. And then from here, you can grab your big toes. And what I'd like you to notice is just how far your knees are coming to the ground, okay? So don't necessarily try and push the knees down, just let them drop. And just notice what that feels like, all right? So this is gonna be our little testing pose. If you want to, you can bring the arms forward and just see how far you can bend effortlessly, okay? So we're gonna do a couple of muscle activations. The first one is for the glute med. So straighten the legs out. And then what I want you to do is do a little bit of an external rotation of that leg, okay? So externally rotate the left leg a bit, or as much as you can, and then lift the leg up about 30 degrees. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come back down. And then externally rotate it and lift up the leg, and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, as you're doing this, be careful of two things, that you're not like pushing the leg back or rolling the whole body forward. Keep the body on one plane as much as you can. Externally rotate, lift it up, hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come back down. Externally rotate, lift up, and back down, and then externally rotate, lift it up. Very nice. That's great. And back down. Let's do the other side. And do it again. Externally rotate the right leg, lift it up, hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. Externally rotate and lift it up and hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. Externally rotate and lift up the leg. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, come back down. Externally rotate it, lift it up. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, come back down. And do it again. Externally rotate the leg, lift it up. And hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come back down. Beautiful. One more time. Externally rotate the leg and lift it up about 30 degrees. Hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and come back down. Beautiful, my friends. Okay, so now come onto your backs and let's just activate some of our hip flexors, our iliopsoas muscle. So bring the legs together. Now, again, we're going to do this for time's sake, 2 legs together, but you can do it 1 leg at a time. So bring your legs together, squeeze the thighs, externally rotate, and lift up. Again, about 20 to 30 degrees. Okay? This is going to activate the iliopsoas muscle. Squeeze and press away through the heels of the feet, relax down. Bring the legs together, externally rotate, lift up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. And bring the legs together, externally rotate, lift it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. And bring the legs together, externally rotate, lift it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back down. Again, if it's bothering your back or you feel yourself causing pain in other areas or stress, do one leg at a time. Do it one more time. Lift it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good job. Bend your knees. We're going to do one more thing here. Bring the hands over your head. Lift the hips up as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes here. Really squeeze the glutes and come back down. Really nice. Okay, so we'll do it again. Lift up as high as you can. Nice. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the glutes. Come into the backs of the heels. And then come on down. Oh, it's so nice. Lift up again. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the glutes. Push down through the heels of the feet and then come on down. Again, squeeze the glutes, lift up. Push down through the heels of the feet. Lift the hips up a little bit more. Squeeze a little bit more. Lift the toes, press down into the heels, and then come on down. Wow. Do it one more time. Lift up, press down through the heels of the feet. Squeeze the glutes. Lift up a little bit more, and come on down. Beautiful. All right, my friends, come up. Let's do that test. Bring the feet in and just notice if there's a difference. Yep. And then reach forward if you want to. Isn't that cool? Some people get really locked up here. It's just a nice way. Doing some of these range of motion tests, you begin to see where tightness starts to melt in your body. And it doesn't melt because we're forcing a range of motion to open up. We didn't force anything to happen. All we did was improve your muscles' ability to contract and contract on demand. So this was the lower body applied yoga anatomy and muscle activation program. Try to do it a couple of times a week, if not every few days. Namaste, my friends, and happy practicing.